Taking selfies has become a universal pastime, a simple gesture that captures a fleeting moment of happiness, adventure, or humor. But for certain individuals, that last photo can mark the final moments before tragedy strikes. From travelers and influencers seeking daring backdrops to families casually trying to fit everyone into the frame, these stories highlight how a carefree decision can quickly lead to catastrophe. Below, we delve into several real-life incidents that underscore both the allure and the danger of chasing the ultimate selfie. The waterfall tragedy of Nirupama Prajapati. On January 3, 2021, Nirupama Prajapati, a young woman from India, decided to enjoy the sunny weather at Sundarar, a scenic picnic destination. Accompanied by friends, she spent the afternoon exploring its natural beauty. At one point, she ventured near a waterfall to snap a memorable selfie. Sadly, a bystander lost his footing and bumped into her, causing her to slip over the edge. Panicked onlookers alerted local authorities, who searched tirelessly for 22 hours. Ultimately, rescue teams found her remains in a rocky niche some 400 meters downstream. Nirup's tragic end is yet another stark reminder of the unexpected ways a fun outing can turn grim, leaving family and friends heartbroken in its wake. The adventurous spirit of Sophia Chung. 32-year-old influencer Sophia Chung earned over 35,000 followers on Instagram thanks to her thrill-seeking lifestyle. Her feed was filled with stunning yet risky images, sitting at the edges of rocky outcroppings, dangling feet over cliffs, and venturing close to powerful waves. On Saturday, July 10th, Sophia visited Hock Lee Park in Hong Kong, an area celebrated for its scenic but hazardous waterfalls. Determined to capture yet another breathtaking shot, she posed near a treacherous cliff edge. Tragically, she slipped and fell over 5 meters. Friends scrambled to call emergency services, and although first responders arrived quickly, Sophia was pronounced dead at the hospital. Heartbreakingly, her Instagram bio had stated, "Life should be fun and not stupid." Her untimely death now stands as a sober lesson on the need to balance excitement with awareness of real-life dangers. Recently, an image circulating online has sparked conversation. According to widespread rumor, a vlogger was paragliding and attempted to take a selfie but neglected to pull the safety cord. The unconfirmed narrative says that her scramble to capture the moment triggered a fatal outcome. While there has been no official confirmation of the incident's authenticity, the story itself has stirred debates about whether the race for viral images is causing people to forget basic safety. Some find the tale plausible given how easily distractions happen during high-risk sports. Others argue it may be an internet fabrication. Opinions vary, and we invite you to share your thoughts on whether this story reflects real life or mere rumor. The bikini climber Gigi Wu. Known on social media as the Bikini Climber, 36-year-old Taiwanese adventurer Gigi Wu gained a devoted following with her unique practice of taking summit selfies in just a bikini. No matter the altitude or weather, she conquered some of the world's tallest peaks, including those in Yan National Park, Taiwan, showing off jaw-dropping images from elevations exceeding 4,000 meters. In December 2019, Gigi embarked on a solo climb in this rugged area. After once again scaling a towering summit, she changed clothes for her trademark photo. Unfortunately, this time she slipped into a ravine. Although she managed to call for help using a satellite phone, inclement weather conditions repeatedly thwarted rescue efforts. Stranded in the cold for days, Gigi succumbed to hypothermia before rescue teams could reach her. Remembered for her adventurous spirit, her death raises a hard truth about how the sheer majesty of nature can quickly turn perilous, even for seasoned climbers. Love, travel, and a fatal selfie. Meenakshi Mori and Vishnu Viana. An Indian couple living in the United States, Meenakshi Mori and Vishnu Viana bonded over their love for exploring the globe. Their blog and Instagram account, Holidays and Happy Ever Afters, showcased their journeys to picturesque locales, each new post followed by thousands of fans. On October 30th, 2018, the couple visited the famous Taft Point in California's Yosemite National Park, a vantage spot perched more than 240 meters above the valley floor. Eager to snap another postcard-worthy image, they edged closer for a selfie. Tragically, both lost their balance and plunged from the cliff. Not long before this event, Manaki had cautioned her blog readers about selfies taken under dangerous conditions, questioning, "Is our life worth just a photo?" In a devastating twist, her own words proved prophetic. Their story continues to evoke discussions about the fine line between capturing beauty and risking one's life. Xiaomei and the livestream catastrophe. In early 2021, Xiaomei, a 23-year-old influencer in China, reveled in her success on Douyin, the Chinese equivalent of TikTok, boasting over 100,000 followers. She dazzled her audience with daily dance clips and gave behind-the-scenes looks at her day job as a crane operator, often filming from the crane cabin itself. On July 20th, near the end of her shift at around 5:40 p.m., Xiaomei began another live broadcast from her lofty workplace. Thousands tuned in to watch her dance, but the cheerful performance took a sudden tragic turn when her phone slipped. Panicking, Xiaomei reached out to save it and lost her balance instead, plummeting more than 43 meters from the crane. The live feed ended in chaos, and her concerned viewers soon learned she had not survived the fall. The news devastated her followers, who remembered her as an upbeat, hard-working mother. Left behind were her 2 children, now tragically orphaned. Her story remains a poignant example of how a single moment of distraction can prove fatal. Tony Kelly's window selfie. In another tragic turn of events, the world lost Tony Kelly, a 20-year-old adventurer and social media influencer from New Zealand. Tony's magnetic personality and insatiable wanderlust were on display in every image she posted, whether it was capturing the spirit of the Electric Picnic Music Festival in Ireland or highlighting iconic landmarks in London. By November 2017, she was touring London when an idea for an unforgettable selfie struck her, snapping a picture while leaning out of her second-floor hotel window. Sadly, the quest for the perfect shot cost Tony her life. She lost her balance, plunged to the ground, and, despite immediate medical attention, passed away from severe brain injuries. In a final gesture of generosity, Tony's family donated her organs, allowing her legacy to shine on by granting others a renewed chance at life. Her story underscores how, even when chasing life's most thrilling moments, staying safe should never be overlooked. Group selfies gone wrong. The Central Java boating disaster. May 15th saw a group of 20 tourists embark on a sunny outing across a water reservoir in Central Java, Indonesia. Laughter and camera clicks filled the air, with everyone keen on commemorating their day of fun. At one point, all 20 passengers rushed to one side of the boat to take a group selfie, a seemingly harmless decision that altered the boat's balance and caused it to capsize. In the chaotic aftermath, 7 people drowned, while 13 survived. This collective miscalculation underscores how quickly excitement can overshadow caution. The accident serves as a chilling wake-up call that even everyday recreational activities come with risks when safety measures are overlooked. The couple from England. Another sobering reminder took place in July 2019, when 2 young English tourists, Daniel Mee, 20, and Jaden Dolman, 25, decided to enjoy the sunny Mediterranean vibes in Spain. They traveled to Puna Prima in Alicante to relax on sun-kissed beaches, swim in glittering waters, and savor the nightlife. One evening, as they wandered along the coastline, the pair stumbled upon a particularly scenic outlook. Determined to capture a keepsake photo, they climbed over a protective railing to get closer to the water's edge. Tragically, they both slipped and plummeted over 12 meters. Daniel was killed instantly, and Jaden died a day later at the hospital. Their loved ones were left in shock, grieving 2 young lives ended far too soon by a decision that seemed harmless in the moment. Bastien Palmier's fatal quest. Not long after Tony's tragic loss, Bastien Palmier, a 33-year-old Frenchman brimming with wanderlust, embarked on a journey to Thailand in November 2019. Inspired by photos he'd seen online, Bastien wanted to outdo his Instagram idols by capturing the country's breathtaking temples, ruins, and pristine beaches. His travels took him to Nam Muang Waterfalls on Koh Samui, a spot celebrated for its picturesque backdrops. Local authorities, well aware of the dangers, had installed visible warning signs and cordoned off hazardous areas. However, Bastian decided to climb over the barrier in his pursuit of the perfect shot. Tragically, he slipped and fell more than 70 meters, landing in the pool below. His lifeless body, bearing severe injuries, was later recovered. In a sad twist, Bastian was the second visitor that year to lose his life taking a selfie at the same waterfall. A 26-year-old Spanish traveler named David Romy had died a few months prior in a similar fall. The heartbreak for their families and friends is immeasurable, and these incidents serve as cautionary tales about risking one's life for social media imagery. We can only hope that local officials will reinforce safety measures and that travelers worldwide learn to appreciate majestic views from safer distances. Webster sisters, a selfie gone wrong. For Essa Ricker, Kelsey Webster, and Kelsey's younger sister Savannah, a lighthearted moment turned fatal in October 2011 near Spanish Fork Canyon in Utah. They decided a selfie with a passing train in the background would be the perfect social media post. Indeed, Savannah even managed to upload one snapshot to Facebook. Unfortunately, the trio failed to notice a second train approaching from the opposite direction. The conductor, who later said he blasted the horn for 12 full seconds in a desperate warning, couldn't stop in time. Trains traveling at 39 miles per hour or higher require considerable distance to come to a halt, and it was already too late. The collision took the lives of all three girls, leaving their families and the railroad crew overwhelmed by shock and grief. The final photograph, where the second train's headlights can be faintly seen in the upper corner, serves as a chilling testament to how quickly a joyful moment can become a tragedy. Harold Agnew's unsettling smile. Sometimes, a photograph is more than it appears. Just ask those who've seen the image of Harold Agnew, an American physicist pivotal to shaping world history. In a picture taken on Tinian Island in 1945, Harold is seen smiling casually while holding what appears to be an ordinary container. In truth, he's carrying the plutonium core for Fat Man, the atomic bomb dropped on Nagasaki, a device that would ultimately kill over 880,000 people. This photograph was captured during Project Alberta, a top-secret operation tasked with preparing and delivering the bomb. The everyday expressions in the photo mask the grim reality of what they were about to unleash. Harold wasn't just involved in creating the bomb. He also flew in a research plane right behind the Enola Gay during the attack, filming the destruction as it happened. The material he recorded stands as an unfiltered archive of staggering devastation. Today, seeing Harold's cheerful demeanor in that old photo can send chills down your spine, reminding us of how something so globally significant once appeared deceptively normal to those on the inside. Ghost of Dundas Peak. In 2016, a Reddit user named Sliced Up Beef ignited an internet debate by posting an eerie photo taken at Dundas Peak in Hamilton, Ontario. She and a friend had gone there to replicate a spectacular scenic shot posted by her friend's cousin, who had posed near the cliff's edge. At first, everything seemed ordinary, but about a month later, the friend made a disturbing discovery while comparing their photos to the cousin's original. Far below the precipice, at a spot that seemed impossibly steep for anyone to stand, a slim figure appeared to be standing upright. Even more haunting, the figure's face was blank. Speculation ran wild in the Reddit comments. Some insisted the figure was just a trick of the light or part of the rock formation, while others swore it was a genuine person, or possibly something supernatural. Dundas Peak is known for challenging trails and a history of accidents, making a ghostly explanation plausible in the eyes of many. Whether it was an optical illusion or something paranormal, the photo's unsettling vibe has given hikers one more reason to be cautious and alert. The Crouching Man, another disappearance case from Oahu, Hawaii, highlights how a single strange detail in a photo can fuel countless theories. In February 2015, 17-year-old Dalan Pua ventured out to explore the Haiku Stairs, also known as the Stairway to Heaven. This treacherous 4,000-step route has been off-limits to the public since 1987. But Dalan wasn't discouraged. Initially, he sent regular updates and pictures to his family, until around 11 a.m. on the day of his hike, when the messages abruptly stopped. A massive search followed. Police, local volunteers, the Honolulu Fire Department, and even the U.S. Navy scoured the mountains for days, yet found no trace of him. Eventually, the official search ended. Then, while reviewing the final images he sent, Dalan's family spotted something terrifying. Lurking in the brush was a person, crouched low as though hiding. Some wondered if Dalan noticed and snapped the photo for proof. Others suspected it might be just another tourist coincidentally captured in the frame. More disturbingly, a few hikers reported hearing someone yell, "Help me, I'm down here," on March 2nd, though nothing came of that lead. Regardless, Dalan was never located, leaving his story shrouded in mystery and fueling debate about what exactly happened along those precarious steps. Overcoming your demons. Sometimes, a photo reveals more than meets the eye. Just ask Joe Martinez from Colorado, who snapped a picture in 1999 at a 50th wedding anniversary celebration. At the time, it seemed like any other family get-together. Joe posed next to his wife, Patty. They smiled for the camera, and the night carried on. But nearly 8 years later, in 2007, they stumbled across that photo again and noticed a disturbing detail. Behind Joe's left shoulder lurked what looked like a menacing dog-like face, as though it was snarling right at them. Here's where it gets strange. Joe and Patty both insist there was absolutely no dog at the party. Joe is convinced the face belongs to a demon, while others might simply shrug it off as a trick of the light. What makes Joe's interpretation more compelling is that in 1999, he was struggling with a serious addiction. Seeing that unsettling shape in the photo felt like a grim symbol of the problem that was devouring his life. Convinced the demon dog represented his inner battles, Joe made a drastic change and worked to overcome his addiction for good. He now keeps the photograph close as a reminder not to slip back into his old habits. If you're thinking this was just some cleverly edited hoax, photo expert John Davenport took a closer look and found no indication that the picture was tampered with. Still, skeptics believe it's just a case of pareidolia, the brain's tendency to see familiar shapes, especially faces, in random patterns. Whether it's an actual demonic presence or just a coincidence, the image remains a crucial turning point in Joe's life, prompting him to break free from what he viewed as his personal demons. A haunting discovery on the trail in 2014. Someone posed a question on Reddit's Ask Reddit forum. Hikers, what's the creepiest thing you've seen on the trail? A user calling themselves Jella08, sometimes written as Jella U8, answered with a deeply unsettling account and some chilling photographs. At a glance, the pictures showed nothing more than a quiet spot in Santa Barbara, California, famous for its 150-foot waterfall. Jella 08 and friends had been bouldering near the waterfall's base, snapping pictures as they climbed. Later, while reviewing the photos, they zoomed in and were horrified. Lurking in the frame was a red-haired woman, her face contorted in agony. The story behind that face, it turns out, belonged to 22-year-old Sailor Gilliams. She and a friend named Vega had been hiking the day before, only to become lost when night fell. At some point, Sailor jumped from a rock and fractured her leg, while Vega tried to carry her. Tragically, as he attempted to help, he slipped, shattering his elbow and badly worsening Sailor's injury by breaking her ankle. Vega then set out alone to seek help, but never returned. Stranded and seriously hurt, Sailor spent a torturous night screaming for assistance before her voice gave out. The next day, the group that included Jella 08 spotted a shock of red hair off in the distance. Investigating further, they found Sailor delirious and on the brink of passing out. Emergency services were contacted and rescue teams airlifted Sailor to safety. Vega, heartbreakingly, was discovered dead farther along the trail. The final photos posted by Jella 08 show the moment they unwittingly captured Sailor's dire predicament. One image, taken right before her rescue, features sailors' terror-stricken face. Had the hikers not been paying attention, they might have missed her altogether, and the outcome could have been even more tragic. David A. Johnston. At first glance, the photo of David A. Johnston paints a picture of a relaxed man. He's leaning back, notebook in hand, smiling as if life couldn't be better. It's a sunny day, and from his carefree posture, you'd never guess that just 13 hours later, he would vanish forever. Born in Illinois, Johnston had a lifelong fascination with geology. His dedication led him to graduate with honors in 1971, then earn a PhD at the University of Washington, where he grew increasingly captivated by the power of volcanoes. In 1978, he joined the U.S. Geological Survey, dedicating himself to monitoring any signs that Mount St. Helens might awaken. At over 8,300 feet, Mount St. Helens had remained quiet for more than a century. So when a 4.2 magnitude quake rocked the mountain, its first in 123 years, Johnston sprang into action. He specialized in measuring volcanic gases and at times was so committed that he hiked directly into the crater to gather samples. But his final day came on May 18, 1980. Early that morning, Johnston set up at the Coldwater 2 Observatory, situated around 5 miles from the volcano's summit. His colleague, Harry Glicken, had been the one originally scheduled for this shift, but Johnston had taken over. Photographs from that morning show him flashing a trademark grin, unaware of the catastrophe about to unfold. At 8:32 a.m., Mount St. Helens exploded in a massive eruption. Johnston managed to radio out his last words, "Vancouver, this is it." Despite the urgency of those words, he spoke with excitement rather than fear. The ensuing eruption was catastrophic. Landslides of ice and rock paired with searing columns of magma and gas barreled outward at speeds of up to 300 miles per hour. Within 6 minutes, some 230 square miles of the surrounding area resembled a barren wasteland. Johnston's body was never found, and he was one of 57 people, including 56 others who lost their lives, to perish that day. However, the scientific team's precautions to keep the public out of the high-risk zone undoubtedly saved countless more. In recognition of Johnston's ultimate sacrifice, the Coldwater 2 site now bears his name, Johnston's Ridge, a testament to the passion that drove him to study the very forces that took his life. Christopher's final self-portrait. For those who've read Into the Wild or seen the 2007 film adaptation, Christopher McCandless, known here as Christopher Mandas, though he's more widely recognized by his real name, is a figure both revered and questioned. After earning a degree from Emory University in 1990, Chris became disillusioned with what he viewed as the emptiness of modern society. He donated $24,000 in savings to Oxfam, abandoned most of his possessions, and took on the name Alexander Supertramp, a nod to a book that had inspired him. His travels spanned the West, often by hitchhiking or paddling down rivers with minimal supplies. By April 1992, Chris had reached Fairbanks, Alaska, then hitchhiked down the Stampede Trail, a harsh and treacherous place. Living out of an old abandoned bus, he subsisted on a small bag of rice, whatever edible plants he could find, and the occasional small game using his .22 rifle. At one point, he managed to bring down a moose, but lacking the know-how to preserve the meat, it spoiled quickly. After 94 days, Chris was in a dire state, having eaten mostly potato seeds that might have caused or aggravated his illness. His journal grew darker until day 107, when he wrote, "Beautiful blueberries." Less than a week later, hunters stumbled upon his remains inside the bus. He had shed 67 pounds, and the coroner concluded he died of starvation, though some speculate those seeds played a key role. Chris's story sparks a range of reactions. Some see him as a brave soul rejecting consumerism to embrace pure freedom, while others criticize him for naivety and a lack of preparation. Regardless, his fate underscores just how brutal genuine wilderness survival can be, especially with minimal planning or resources.